So it's been about a week since I've worked on the house last, and it's all been because of this. The subfloor is on and finished. I just have to finish the hole for where the crawl space access will go, which isn't a big deal, and I don't have to do it right now. I can do it a little bit later. We still have to backfill in around the house, which I should have a bobcat or skid steer, whatever you want to call it, here in maybe 2 days. So we should be able to get that all done in one day. It shouldn't take very long. So we will get it backfilled and the perimeter drain in. We'll leave a couple spots open so we can trench in like the power. Sorry, the dog got wrapped around me. So we can trench in the power and the septic and the gas and all that stuff. Yeah, so this wood behind me is for the walls of the first floor. So I have the walls of the first floor. I have whatever extra rim board we need. And we have the floor system for the first floor. The only thing I don't have to completely do the first floor and put a roof over it and a floor above it is the I-joists for the roof of the second floor. This stupid pile of lumber. So I got there at about 8 or 7:30 or 8 at night, the day after I told them I was going to be there to pick up the order. They had not pulled this. This is 70 2x6 studs and about 30 other boards there. They hadn't pulled any of it, so we got to sit around for 45 minutes while they pulled it. After they pulled it, they put it on a cart and strapped it the other way with the 16 footers on top at my request because we're using those first. And as they're trying to get the forklift under the pile of wood on the cart, the forklift driver pushed it off the cart and it landed upside down. So we were able to get it off the ground enough to get forks under it and put it just back on the truck upside down. But that's why the stickers are on top, and that's why it's all wonky. It's because they dropped it, so that's fun. So I haven't seen any of the bottom boards to see how messed up they are. The bottom ones are like 14 footers and they're 16 footers, so hopefully they're not too bad. If they are, I'll just bring them back and trade them out, and it's their issue. 5/8 and 5/8-ish, a little over 5/8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, so right there. Okay, same thing on this side. We started by remeasuring diagonally to get the inside corners of the walls perfectly square. The whole floor system is very square within a couple 16ths of an inch. However, we wanted it to be even squarer than that. Okay. That's right. Then we went and ran chalk lines on the inside edge of all the exterior walls. That way when we were setting the walls in place, we could just put them exactly on the chalk line and they'd be straight. After getting all the exterior walls chalk lined, we then went and marked out all the interior walls with chalk line. We aren't going to be building the interior walls at the same time we do the exterior walls because none of them are load bearing. However, we wanted to get a feel for the layout of the house. After we got the interior walls marked out, we then put our top and bottom plates on the subfloor on the exterior wall lines that we had marked out previously. After we get them all laid out on the lines, we're going to cut them to length, that way all the top and bottom plates butt up against each other, and then we're going to mark the layout of all the studs. When we're marking the layout for the studs, we're putting a line that goes from the top to the bottom plate, and then we're marking on which side of the line the stud goes on. That way, when we go to actually frame the wall and nail all the studs in, we can just look at our lines and our marks and know exactly where the studs go. studs are going to be 2 foot on center, okay?
Okay.
So, since these are completely lined up, there's going to be a stud on this end. So we're going to make an X because we can't draw a line on the end. So we know a stud's going to go right where that X is, okay? And then we're going to come over here to 2 foot. Theoretically, we'll make all the 2 foot marks first and then come back, but we'll come over here to 2 foot. Mark where 2 foot is. We'll take our fancy little square, draw a line down both of them so it's in the exact same spot, and then since our line is theoretically here, to the left of the line we'll put an X to mark where the stud is going to go. We're trying to make this house pretty energy efficient, so we're using 2x6 exterior walls so we have a deeper cavity for insulation, and then we're also using a 2 foot on center stud spacing, which gives us more space for insulation in the wall and less studs. On our layout, our 2 foot on center stud spacing kind of changes throughout the wall. When we have an opening that's an odd number, like 3 foot wide or 5 foot wide, our stud would end in the middle of that 2 foot stud spacing. So to save a couple extra studs and give us more insulation on the wall, what we're doing is at that end stud, which would be in the middle of our 2 foot, we're starting our spacing again and putting the next stud 2 foot from that one. That way every stud is 2 foot from the one before it. Before we wrapped up for the day, we decided to frame out one wall. This wall was really easy to frame out because it didn't have any windows in it, so it's just all straight studs. The wood we got for the studs are all pre-cut stud length boards. That way we don't have to cut each individual stud to the correct length. We can just grab a board and throw it on. We also had to make sure that all of the crowns were facing the same way. That way the drywall, when we eventually put it on, wouldn't be super wonky. Hi! Hi! Oh, Maple, it's okay. Come here. Come here. Come here, look at that. Oh, licks. Oh, licks. It's okay, girl. It's okay. It's okay, baby. Yeah. All the scratchies. All the scratchies. All the scratchies. All the scratchies. Okay. Let me do this real quick. I'll be with you, okay? She licks the camera lens.
Ow. I have splinters in my butt.
I'm sorry.